Natambeya, Governor for Trans Nzoia, is joining us now live. Governor, good morning. It's good to see you with us. So before you joined in, we were talking about the irregularities that have been discovered in different counties. What have you discovered in Trans Nzoia since you took office?
Thank you, Trevor. I'm barely 3 days in this office. There are a lot of things that needs to be done. First of all, for us here, I think the biggest challenge we have is office space. Officers don't have a place to operate from, so many of them are operating from their vehicles and parking places. Even our people, the citizens, when they come to seek for services, they have got no place to wait. They wait out there, maybe in the rain or in the sun. And that's an augur well for service delivery. And number two, we are inheriting a very huge pending bill. Slightly over 1 billion. We need to figure out how we are going to sort it out to check whether these works were actually done. And if indeed the works were done, then of course we're obliged as government to ensure that they are paid because these works were done by our citizens. We don't want to impoverish them for having worked with for the county government. And this generally there's a lot of lethargy. Service delivery is very poor. People just come to loiter. There's no wonder that people out there complaining that they don't feel government.
Yeah, Governor, on Monday you were in the office by 7 a.m. Were there people with you? What did you discover? Yeah.
There was nobody. I actually came here at around 6:30, and there was the place was so desolate. Looks like a cemetery. People basically abandoned work. It shouldn't be the case because the government is permanent. Individuals come and go, but government is permanent. So there's no excuse. People say that maybe it's during transition and therefore people are a bit low. That should not happen. Government must go on where there's an election or there's no election, and therefore we are going to ensure that we put in place structures, systems that will ensure that government runs in spite of what's happening in the political arena.
So what time do you always report to the office, Governor, and what is the directive to the county staff going forward? Now that you are there at 6:30 and there was no one, going forward, what is your directive to them then?
They need to use their common sense. If the governor is coming at 7:30, they should come earlier than that. Of course, there are those public service regulations on when people are supposed to report. But given where we are, we know we are lagging behind in so many aspects. We should put in a little bit more than other counties. So we're going to ensure that people report to work at the right time, they stay in their offices, and also leave at the right time. We're going to introduce a clocking and a clocking out system, so that ensure that in between, people are just in the offices. They don't just come report and then leave, and then we come back to clock out. We're going to have a similar system to ensure that when citizens come to seek for services, they get those officers in their respective offices.
Yeah, Governor, in terms of your priority areas, where are you going to start and when are you planning to meet the county staff? Because there's been allegations of ghost workers in different counties.
Of course, that's one of the major challenges. The senior staff, of course, the CECs and the chief officers, they know they're going to exit because the person who employed them has exited. So it's no wonder that you find that level of productivity is very low. There's little we can do now until we put in place, we employ those senior officers who are going to oversee the operations of government. But in the meantime, of course, we're going to ensure that those who are around remember that they're out here to serve the public and that they're going to do that.
Governor, are you going to do 100%? Sorry, go ahead, Governor.
As I was saying, that there are many things that need to be done. Of course, from even our manifesto, we need to very, very quickly sort out the mess in the health sector, ensure that we have drugs in our health facilities, and that all our health officials actually report to work and that they serve our people. Because currently people are even dying from very preventable diseases because they don't have money to buy drugs. Obviously, our hospital stores don't have anything. If there are debts with KEMSA, we're going to very quickly sort them out so that we get adequate supplies. Of course, we also have challenges of water. We have got adequate machinery to ensure that we drill water. And also very soon we're going to engage the national government to ensure that the rights of our people in terms of access to water. We need to get some very capital projects in this place. For the longest time, I think Trans Nzoia has not been getting its fair share of resources from the national government. And then there are so many demands for bursaries. I think our children are not going to school because of the very, very high poverty level. Trans Nzoia, the poverty level for Trans Nzoia is slightly higher than the national average, which is very unfortunate. So we have got so many things. We need even to uplift this headquarters. It doesn't look very nice. We want to put up offices for our officers. So even if you want to coordinate, you can't be coordinating officers who are staying in different parts of the county, some as far as almost 3 to 4 kilometers away from the county headquarters. And these are CCs and chief officers. We want to have these people in a centralized place. So even the county governor's office is a one-stop shop, where a resident will come and they're going to get all services in one place, instead of jumping on my motorbike from one place to another, seeking government services. So our plate is very full.
Yeah, Governor, are you going to do 100% transition or overhaul of the county staff, or will you keep some of them based on their performance, especially the CECs you're talking about?
At the higher level, of course, I'm still checking to see whether they have those who are performing well. If we are not here to victimize people, if we have got a good officer discharging their responsibilities well, we may have to retain some. We're still in the state of checking and seeing how they've been performing. I've been looking at their performance contracts and how they've been delivering or service delivery. So far, the report that I've received is not very encouraging. We may have to come with the clean. We have to clean maybe the entire system. But of course, there's that permanent bureaucracy from the level of director downwards. Unfortunately, again, the level of directors, we don't have substantive officer holders. We've got acting officers. A director is supposed to be at job group R, but many of the people acting as directors are in job group L, K, J, so they cannot really be in charge of those departments. We're going to ensure that we fill those positions substantively. So that going forward, as I've said, during transitions, we don't have the kind of challenges we're having now.
But Governor, are you aligned with the members of the County Assembly? Because that is also another place where you will have a bit of challenges.
You know, my political party did not have very many MCAs. I think we just had about 9 out of 25. But during campaigns, I used to tell the people that I wanted them to elect good leaders, not necessarily people from my political party. And I want to believe that people heard me and gave me good leaders. I've been urging them to forget about political affiliations so that we are here to serve our people. The challenges facing our people do not respect political parties. If there is no water in a particular constituency or particular ward, it affects everybody, those who voted for me and those who didn't vote for me. And for us, I've been urging our MCAs to go beyond those political affiliations. They just divide us for no reason at all. If we focus more on what afflicts our people, and then for me personally, I'm not worried about the MCA's political affiliations. I've been talking to them, they are listening, and I'm sure we're going to get a good house leadership that's going to be aligned with the programs that we intend to execute as a county government.
Governor, in Kisii, there's been allegations that there are some ghost workers. In fact, the EACC has just sent a message here. EACC says that they've taken note of the serious allegations of ghost workers and fraud in procurement of motor vehicle insurance in Kisii County, and will inquire into the same in accordance with its mandate. That's from Eric Ngumbi, Head of Corporate Affairs and Communication at EACC. Have you taken a stock of what Trans Nzoia has and their status as we are right now?
I issued instructions yesterday to the county human resource officer to check and give me a report on what's contained in the payroll. I want to know how the payroll looked 6 months ago, and then thereafter we do a comparative analysis. Because you get this impression that the outgoing regime wanted to burden us with the huge wage bill so that we're completely incapable of paying staff, and they'll go out there saying that hata hawezi kulipa wafanyikazi. So we want to check. So far they've told me that that not very many people were employed during the transition. I don't believe it, because there were many stories. Even having attempts of recruiting new staff during elections. So I'm not very comfortable about what contests in that payroll. We are going to have experts have a look at it, and if anybody engaged in monkey business during transition, then they're going to face necessary consequences.
And then, Governor, the issue of pending bills. How are you planning to pay the pending bills, considering they're about R1 billion for your county?
It's a headache, but we're going to make adequate budgetary provision for it. I've checked in the current budget. Some money was set aside, about 600 million. But as I've said, we have to confirm that if indeed these pending bills are valid, that they are genuine, before we commit any government funds. So we're going to have a supplementary budget to align it with our priorities. Paying pending bills is not one of my priorities. As somebody who's worked in government for almost 26 years, I don't understand the concept of pending bills, because you cannot commit government for any project if there are no funds. Like you cannot do a project if we don't have funds. So the idea of having pending bills, somebody did a job and they were not paid because there were no funds. Personally, I don't understand it. Nobody has given me a convincing reason why I should have pending bills. All government projects are done according to the budget, approved budget. If you go beyond the approved budget, it's against the law. So we want to check. People are running around and telling me some of these debts were inherited from the defunct local authorities. I'm not convinced. We're going to have a sit down with these people and have a thorough examination of these spending bills. And those who are found culpable to have committed government to projects without any budgetary provisions, then they're going to face, of course, relevant penalties, including being surcharged.
Yeah, Governor, you're in the office right now. Where is your deputy, and have you given them roles to perform?
Yeah, we are still working on assigning roles. As I said, the law makes it a bit difficult during this transition period, because you cannot just move in and have a cabinet and appoint chief officers. There's a very long process. Personally, I'll be having my cabinet by now. But you have to wait for MCS to be sworn in. They have not been sworn in because we're waiting for the gazettement of nominated MCS to come in, so that they are sworn in, the elected speaker, before I can present a list of my nominees, potential CECs to them for vetting and an appointment. For chief officers, the process is even longer, because now the County Public Service Board must advertise for people to apply, go through interviews. Then they're bringing names here, from whom I'll pick a list of the number of people I want, then take them to assembly again. So that process is delaying us a bit. But of course, my deputy, Karen, I think she's already in her office. We want to set standards. We lead by example. We do as we say. I'm sure even by now, many of the officers have started coming in. There's a little bit change of attitude. I come here and within 10 minutes, you'll find offices are already filled up. But they're coming to do what? Because there are no funds. People, it's like people scramble for government funds. The moment they receive funds, within 1 week, all the money is spent, and then people start idling around in offices. We want to have a way in which when funds come, they're spread out, if in the entire month or the entire quarter, so that at all times we've got people being facilitated to discharge government services. But with DECO, you can insist for people to come to the office in the morning, but they're coming to do what? They're coming to hang around there doing nothing, because there's actually no resources at all for people to go out there and serve our people. I'm not sure if there's any government project going on at the moment. Nothing actually is moving.
All right, Governor, there's a question here from you on Twitter before I engage my panelists in studio.